This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Midland.
Heyo.
On this Monday, post-first round now in the NBA playoffs. Post-first round NBA, post-first round Stanley Cup playoffs. You good?
Yeah.
How's your derby?
Oh, it was great. It was a good 4-minute watch by me.
Good 4-minute watch?
I still have no idea where Chief Wallaby finished. Is he still running? He might still be running.
Chief Wallaby did okay.
Did he?
Yeah.
I swear to God, I have no idea where he finished. I know he wasn't at the front.
I think he was fourth,
Really?
I believe
so.
so.
He was further up there than I thought then.
Don't hold me to that, but I think he was fourth.
I just ended up with the one and only to win bet, though, and that didn't work out.
Golden Tempo.
Who
I'm going to say was never mentioned one time by anybody.
I don't remember him. Yeah. I sure don't remember him.
Now, that said, though, I did very well in the Oaks, given the information all of our experts gave us, right? Because they all had meaning.
Did he win?
No, but he finished second, I believe.
Okay.
And they all faded Zany. So
That's right.
all my matchups were plus money, pro meaning fade Zany. So the Oaks was great.
Okay. Nice.
Even though
Well
didn't
done.
win the outright. But then the Derby was not.
That was the one you and I talked about kind of on Friday. Was like, all right, what are your real race watching plans? And I was like, probably the Oaks tonight and definitely the Derby. I don't know how much outside of that I'll catch. I didn't even catch the Oaks on Friday.
Kelly and I take no credit for any of the wins or any of the losses.
Yeah.
We're just following on those. Today, we will talk NBA playoffs. May wins. Well, that did not start out well. We'll talk about that briefly. Greg Peterson, all of his baseball bets this hour for this Monday. A little country clubbing, golf and tennis, and Wes Reynolds will join us a little later on the show to discuss golf and more. I think Wes hit an outright this week, did he not?
Wes and I both. Cameron Young.
There you go.
Yep. Got another one home.
Nicely done, gentlemen.
Actually, in easy fashion. That was nice. I will take every golf tournament like that. I don't think most golf fans that aren't betting on it will take golf tournaments like that with 6-shot winners, but if you're betting outrights, you'll take that.
Can we just review? We don't usually do this on Monday morning. We usually just go back to yesterday, but can we just go, because when we left here on Friday morning, we had no idea what was in store for us in these NBA playoffs. But this was on the heels of that Atlanta Hawks game where they trailed the Knicks by 61 on Thursday night, I believe it was. So Friday we had the triple header. Friday night, the Rockets scored 31 points in the first half against the Lakers. That was a low light of Friday night. They end up getting beat by the Lakers in 6 games. The Cavs Raptors game 6, RJ Barrett hits that impossible 3 to win it at the buzzer where it bounces off the back of the rim, goes high in the air and falls in. People were comparing it to the Kawhi Leonard shot for the Raptors against the Sixers so many years ago. That one bounced 4 times on the rim. And still, we did a full segment on that shot, how it was impossible that it went in.
Wasn't it more like the Halliburton shot?
Yes, this one was more like the Halliburton.
Everybody kept saying Kawhi, and I was like, we just saw Halliburton last year do this.
It was just the same team. That was the only reason why they compared it to that. But so that forced a Game 7. And the other one, though, of course, the more famous one of all of them on Friday was Game 6 between the Magic and the Pistons, where the Magic were going to do this. They were up 24 points on the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
They were less than a half away from moving on. And Jamal Mosley was going to save his job, and everything was going great. And then they did something that we could watch 1,000, 10,000. We could watch basketball games to the end of time. You thought the Hawks being down 61 the night before was bad? How about the Magic missing 23 consecutive shots? From Anthony Black's 3 with 4:14 left in the third quarter to Paolo Banchero's bucket with 2:24 left in the fourth. So more than a quarter of basketball. They didn't hit a shot. They were 1 of 20 in the fourth, and all said and done, they missed 24 of their last 25 field goal attempts, did the Magic. They scored 19 total points in the second half on 4 of 37 shooting. Let me repeat that. They scored 19 points in the second half on 4 of 37 shooting. The fewest points of any half in NBA playoff history. Detroit outscored them 31-8 in the fourth, 55-19 in the second half. And the Pistons come back the largest by a road team facing elimination in 40 years. And the Pistons forced a Game 7. And we know the rest of that story. But just in case you missed, by the way, between the Hawks' performance, the Rockets' first half, and that Magic debacle, there's a great tweet, which we'll throw up once we have it.
Yeah, it's coming in.
But there's been approximately 7,000 NBA/ABA playoff basketball games. Those three halves of basketball, Rockets first, Magic second. Here it is, Chris Steed on Twitter. There have been approximately 7,000 total playoff games in the NBA and ABA history. Orlando, Houston, and Atlanta just accounted for 3 of the top 5 worst offensive halves in NBA playoff history within a 24-hour time frame. Houston's current shooting splits, he tweeted this at the time, 27, 21, 60, talking about percentages from the field, from 3, from the free throw line. And Orlando just finished the second half shooting 10.8% from the field. We'll never see another outlier of basketball this bad in our lifetimes. That's what we witnessed that 24-hour stretch. Just to put it in historical perspective, how bad it was. And then we ended up with 3 Game 7s. So that was the thing. Remember, hockey had 6 Game 6s, basketball had 6 Game 6s. We ended up with a 1 Game 7 out of those 6 in hockey. Montreal on, was it 9 shots?
9 shots, yeah.
End up winning that Game 7. Unbelievable. And then in basketball, though, we had the 3 because of these, 2 of these were improbable results. Well, not 2 of those, but 2 improbable results. So we end up with Saturday, we end up with the Celtics and the Sixers Game 7. Jason Tatum is announced out.
Yep.
And so Joe Mazzulla, who apparently was listening to this radio program on Friday morning, hear me just go off on him, saying, is there no adjustments? This guy's the worst coach ever. He can't have any adjustments to this team. All they do is chuck threes. He says, watch this, radio boy. He puts out a starting lineup of Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and then, get ready, Luka Garza, Ron Harper Jr., and Baylor Shireman. The last 3 of which went scoreless in this game, which is the only time in NBA history where there were 3 scoreless starters in a playoff game. They went 0 for 7 combined. Well, I didn't mean that, Joe. What are we doing? Someone called it a Micah Adams, our old friend, Micah Adams from Sporting News. Yep. Micah called it a completely unnecessary gamble. And I agree. What are you doing?
You could even, you could make a case for a couple of those. Ron Harper Jr. was Ron Harper Jr.? He played in 29 games in the regular season. That was it, played in.
And all that said, somehow the Sixers, who led by as many as 18, found themselves in a dogfight with the Celtics. In fact, they led the Celtics by 1, 99-98, with less than 4 minutes to go. And the Celtics had not 1, not 2, but 3 possessions in which they could take the lead. They couldn't. Brown missed a 3. Brown missed a pull-up. Pritchard missed a 3. Finally, Maxey sprint to the hoop. They're up 3. Brown misses another. Maxey sprint to the hoop. They're up 5 with just over a minute left. Hauser misses a 3. C's get the ball back. Brown misses a 3. White misses a 3. You get the idea. Sixers win it 109-100. And my Spurs Celtics 125-1. As I kind of was indicating on Friday morning. I knew this was coming. Dunzo. As I mentioned, Garza, Harper, Shireman, the only 3 starters ever in a playoff game to go scoreless. It's incredible. Celtics, they you know how we say we live and die by the 3? Well, they died by it. 13 of 49 from 3, 26.5%. Embiid 34, 12 and 6. Maxey 30, 11 and 7.
Yeah. So what? Every loss they had under 30% from 3. Yep. Live and die by the 3, like you said. I'm glad you brought it up. It was I had gotten now excited. I had taken Sixers 40-1 with a couple weeks left in the regular season, something like that. When Embiid was coming back, and then he gets the appendectomy, and you're like, all right, no shot. But I'm getting excited watching this game. You're like, all right, this Sixers team's really coming together, right? You're seeing all the pieces. But you're right. The Celtics at the end there made a push. It made a push, and there was a lot of missed open shots, wide open shots. Do you know how the most wide open 3-point attempts in the first round of the NBA? The Boston Celtics.
Yeah, brutal.
Oh man.
There was one sequence where Derek White had a wide open 3, hesitated, and he missed. And who was on the call? Was it Reggie Miller? Was it Reggie Miller?
I don't remember who was on that call.
It was the perfect. He immediately said, he goes, that's why you missed. Anybody who's ever played basketball at any level knows that getting out of the rhythm there, right? It's what are you doing?
He had a brutal season, both regular season and post. It was very tough for Derek White, who one of my kind of favorite players in the NBA just because he's under the radar. He's such a good two-way player, and his shooting got so much better when he got to Boston from three, and this year really took a hit.
Shaving off the hair was a great decision from him.
That's true. Yes, it was.
Just want to point that out as well. And then the two Game 7s yesterday, there's really not much to say. I mean, Detroit just destroyed Orlando. Banchero, 38 defeat. Cade, 32 and 12 assists. Tobias Harris, 30 and 9. Jalen Duren, 15 and 15. We're talking points and rebounds. Pistons shot 51.3% for the field. They crush Orlando in Game 7. Jamal Mosley loses his job this morning as a result. We said on Friday, as long as he beats Detroit, they can't take his job away from him. But they didn't do it.
Yep. And there were reports we had a month ago where he was going to be out no matter what, and that it was him and Banchero both in the front office going, it's him or me. Well, Banchero stepped up and had a few big games.
Yeah, it's not his fault that they missed 24 out of 25 down the stretch in Game 6. It is on him that they looked so bad yesterday. One could make that argument. And then Toronto, they had a big lead over Cleveland. I think it was 10 points in the first quarter. They had a 10-point lead in the second quarter. At both the end of the first and second quarter, both the ends of those quarters, Cleveland made runs, and then Cleveland just blew them out in the second half. Scored the first 9 of the third quarter yesterday. They got the lead. It was a tie game. They scored the first 9. They got the lead to 19. They got it to as many as 22 in the fourth. Toronto never got it within 11. Cleveland wins by 12. They advance. Cavs out-rebounded the Raptors 60-33. 60-33. Just for context, most rebounds in an NBA game this year, 69. 60-33.
Welcome to the playoffs, Jared Allen.
The nice part is they're all clean. We haven't started the second round. We'll look at all the second round series prices next on A Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Dustin Sweetelson in for Mitch. Recap the Kentucky Derby and all the action in the playoffs. Spurs-Wolves Game 1. Who do the Knicks face? Nick Whalen to break it down with all his favorite props in the NBA. Also, we'll talk NHL playoffs as well. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, SiriusXM Channel 158. Make sure you check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, and get the VSiN Watch app.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Don't forget about our latest VSiN Pro discounted annual subscription. Get 14 months, as long as you use the promo code PRO. 14 months for $199. Daily best bets from VSiN experts, real-time betting splits, AI-powered props and matchup tools, 24/7 live video and full show replays. All of our betting guides, 14 months long for $199. Just put the promo code PRO in there at VSiN.com/subscribe. We get tweet speed in the book. Y'all are the best, for real. Best. It's so great coming back every Monday morning. It's like, oh, great. Let's hear what the people have to say. Gordon Dye. I love when we get sort of existential questions like this. Gordon Dye. Why do announcers tell us there's plenty of time left when I can plainly see there's not much time left? I love that.
I don't know. I can't remember what game it was. I shook my head at one of those yesterday, too. Like, there's plenty of time left. It was like one of the game sevens where it was like a 16-point lead, and you're like, not really. Not really.
I think the quick answer is they're just trying to make sure you don't turn away.
Yeah.
Right? That's the quick answer from just a broadcast perspective. Every once in a while, they're correct. Like, did you see this Avalanche game last night in hockey?
No, I saw the score this morning, though. I watched almost all of Game 7 with the Canadiens Lightning, first of all. But then I did not realize that there was a second-round game.
So the Avalanche ended up beating the Wild last night 9-6.
9-6?
Which sounds a lot less competitive than it really was. It was just amazing because the Avalanche went up 3-0. Then it was 3-2. I don't know. We got to 4-4, 5-5, and then it got to, I believe it was 7-5, and then 7-6. And was it Buchagras? He kept saying, given what we've seen, there is still plenty of time left in this hockey game. So in rare circumstances like that, he is correct. That even with 3 minutes left, you never know what's going to happen.
Over was good. I knew that this morning.
The Avalanche are just a truck.
Dude, what is going on between that hockey game last night and then what was that, the Champions League game last week? Middle of the
PSG.
week where we had the over? It was there was 11 goals scored or something ridiculous?
Anyway, that's a great question. Great question from Gordon Dye. Rocco Salperto says, Gil, how about Cleve TA giving out golden tempo with the disclaimer that he knows nothing about horses? Funny how winners just seem to win. I didn't know that.
That's a great tweet.
Shout out to Cleve. Cleve gave out golden tempo. I had no idea.
Winners just seem to win.
Good for you, Cleve. Jesse Welch, that hockey game last night was a banger, but I really wish some of my outs would list larger alt numbers for the totals in-game. The highest I could find was 10.5 until the second intermission. Shame. Yeah.
Oh, that's frustrating, yeah.
PK Mountain Steel letting us know that the Mets-Rockies got moved earlier today. I'm not sure they'll avoid afternoon thunderstorms today, and pretty darn sure they won't avoid incoming rain snow tomorrow. Getting snow? Come on. Wow. Nevada Azer, think we'll see the NBA announced Coach of the Year this week? Some of us have tickets to cash. Yeah, I think we'll get it this week. I think.
Wasn't it supposed to be tonight? Weren't we joking about that last week? I'll look it up.
I can tell you right now. You ready? The answer to your question is, I don't know. I thought I could get you right now. No idea. No idea on that. Yes, but we should get that this week. We should get MVP this week, right? We should get it all. What are we waiting on? Del Mind the Gap Radio. Yes, R.I.P. Yankees radio broadcaster John Sterling.
Oh, yes.
Bernie goes boom. John Sterling, who, even if you're not a Yankees fan, you know his calls. It's high, it's far, it's gone. Or it is high, it is far, it is gone. Let me do it justice. And then really the big one, of course, is the Yankees win, right? That's the one that most people know. I guess with Aaron Judge, all rise, here comes the Judge when he hits a home run. John Sterling passing away after 36 years of being the Yankees announcer. So that's a big loss to obviously Yankees fans, the baseball community as a whole. Our condolences to his family on that. Brian Smith letting us know here's proof someone was talking about golden tempo. We're just talking about with our show.
Yeah,
we didn't mention it. We're not saying the world didn't talk about golden tempo. We were just talking about our show. I
hope someone on the network somewhere brought him up.
I hope someone did. Yes, I hope someone did. Again, one on the Oaks, taking everybody's advice. This is a good, and this one also about the Mariners here in early May. Sean SCA Town Baller from Seattle. He says, "My condolences on falling victim to this crap show of a team," and he didn't say crap. You know, they lose, they get swept by the Royals. Here's the silver lining. So they're 0-3 to start May. Silver lining is they have the best run differential of all the 0-3s. There you go. There's an early start.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
But the most frustrating was Saturday night. Emerson Hancock had a pitching performance. He had 14 Ks and 0 walks. They lost. They gave up the lead in the ninth, and they lose in 10. And you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, there's a country club name.
Emerson Hancock. Doesn't know many people like me. Yeah, C-Town baller, that's absolutely correct. That's just a brutal start. Now, they can make up for it real quick by beating the Braves. They got Logan Gilbert on the hill tonight. So you win a couple or sweep the Braves, and all is forgotten quick. Trojan Ram says, good morning, gentlemen. Just an FYI, Chief Wallaby just crossed the finish line.
Oh, right. There we go.
But that's not true. Didn't he finish fourth?
I still haven't looked up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just had to win. I got 2 tweets, too, for the weekend. This was great. From Filthy the Kid. I did laugh out loud when I saw him tweet this before the game last night. He goes, last game of round 1 of the NBA playoffs. Perhaps today we'll see the beginning of the Cavs-Raptors series. Yeah. That's what it felt like. That is sure what it felt like to me. And then Jared Earls. Shout out to Jared. He let me know about this over the weekend yesterday. It was yesterday morning. We talked about those props and how, I thought they were silly prices of the team that could win a series without ever leading in it. We had 2 of those cash.
Yeah.
And he pointed that out. Hey, these are still live. Sixers eliminate the Celtics without ever leading the series. And the Pistons did it as well.
Because they both came back from 3-1 deficits, which is pretty historic in terms of NBA history.
I was kind of laughing at those numbers, at least those odds we were getting on those, and 2 of them cashed. Okay.
Yeah. How many times total, by the way, has that happened in the history of the NBA? I'm efforting that right now as we speak. I believe it has happened.
I went to go take a picture of that graphic on the broadcast, too, and then it went too fast last night.
Yeah. I'll get that number for you, but it's less than 20. Let's put it that way.
Yes, it is less than 20.
It's less than 20, and we had 2 over the weekend that happened. So let me get you... Let me ask you about these series prices then.
Let's go.
For real, it's the conference semifinals. I don't think we call it round 2 in the NBA technically.
Yeah.
But 2 of the games start tonight, and then we have the other 2 tomorrow night. 2 tonight. The Sixers take on the Knicks. Knicks have a little extra rest here on the Sixers. And the series price, Knicks with the home court advantage. Remember, this is the 3-7, if you will now. The 1 seeding upset being the Sixers and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. Knicks are a -255 series favorite in this best of 7. Philly +210 on the comeback. Game 1, where again, as I mentioned, Sixers coming off the Saturday game, Knicks coming off the Thursday game. Game 1, Knicks favored by 7.5. Total here is 212.5 in this one. Any thoughts on any of the above?
Yeah, so first of all, I think this is the series I'm most excited to watch for sure. I think this is the Eastern Conference Finals. I think whoever wins this is winning the Eastern Conference Finals and going to the NBA Finals. Can Philly? I think the big question for Game 1 here tonight is: was there any carryover injury with Joel Embiid?
Yeah.
He fell over about 6 times in that game on Saturday, and you only got 2 days removed from that. From the game tonight, Gil,
that was when Jaylen Brown pushed Maxey into Embiid.
Yeah, and he went down like a couple other times earlier, but that would be the most significant.
That was where the injury got, the really significant injury.
Yeah, he was you didn't catch him earlier on the game, grabbing at his side too, and everybody's appendectomy. And you're like, well, I don't know, what, did he bust a stitch or something? I don't know. I'm not really worried about that though. Yeah, I'm worried about the knee. And it's Joel Embiid. Sorry, you might say he's fine. He played the rest of the game. He stood on the court afterward. That's great. It's Joel Embiid. He's glass. This happens. So I was eager to see what this line was going to be for Game 1. I thought I was going to be in on the Knicks. This is a little heavier than I thought it was going to be. 7.5. It opened 8. There were 8s on the board when I first saw it. This feels closer to right. I was hoping I was going to get something like 5.5 based off of the love of the Sixers carrying over. That's not the case. Lean under tonight, but I don't think I'm going to mess around with the total either. No bet here. I do have a bet on the series, though. and I think it's my favorite series play so far. I'm going over 5.5 games. I laid -130 on that. I think we get a long series here. I would be shocked if this is short. Either way, I think if it is, then we are talking about injuries coming into play, and it's probably Joel Embiid that we're talking about that with, and it's the Knicks then winning quickly. But I think this is a long series. I'd say Knicks in 7 probably. I think we're getting 6 or 7 games out of this. So I played over 5.5 at -125.
Glad we mentioned Embiid for NBA Finals MVP the other day as well. We talked about that at a long number. I don't know. I think it would be awesome if this was the year the Sixers got to the finals.
Me too. I mean, and it's going to be a little weird because this is, for me, it's like I feel like I've kind of been on Knicks Island a little bit this season. I don't know, I still think they got the highest floor, but now I've got this Sixers ticket, so I think I'm just going to be rooting for that. I think the series pricing, it looks about accurate to me. Even if I didn't have this ticket.
If you believe Embiid is okay, isn't the spread way too big? Because the rest.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
Because rest, I bring it up to be thorough, but really we're going to make that into an issue now? It's not like it's a back-to-back or anything. Feels Sixers-ish to me, plus the points tonight. We shall see. Coming back, the other game next.
The guarantee? I hear it's massive.
They wouldn't do this unless it was something big.
There is no way it's that high.
I think it's even bigger.
It's huge. What? It's huge. Oh!
I'm down here at Circa, and I heard it's going to be gigantic. It's the biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
All right, guys. You're going to have to wait and see. The biggest pro football contests in the world are back. Visit circasports.com for more information.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Don't forget about the sharp plays, unmatched transparency with records updated daily, AI betting analysis, real-time global betting info, alerts directly from the pros, sharpplays.com. Check it out. Scan the QR code on your screen for more. Guess we have to talk about this, contractually obligated. You see Malik Willis's first pitch at a Marlins game. Malik Willis, presumptive Miami Dolphins starting quarterback.
Yeah, it was bad.
Airmailed. Would have been in the stands if there's not a net there. What is it? Is it the pressure? Is it the size of the ball? What is it? The elevation of the mound?
It's a little bit of pressure, and the one I always hear from people that have done it, and then ones even from like players that have recommendations is don't go on the mound. You're not used to throwing a ball off of a pitcher's mound. You always see people go a little bit before the mound. It's fine. You throw off a flat surface into it. That's how we're all used to throwing a ball. We're not all professional pitchers. Not Jensen Lewis. The funniest part about that video, though, is Malik, you brought your own glove. Yeah. Like maybe he was okay going to the mound because he was confident enough to bring his own glove.
Answer to the question: how many 3-1 recoveries have there been in best of sevens NBA history? 15, including those two this weekend with the Sixers and the Pistons. 15 total. Doc Rivers not involved in either of the two yesterday or the day before.
Good side note. Yep.
Yeah. Nick, real Nicks. I'm old enough to remember the last time my Sixers won a Game 7 at the Garden. 45 years and one new arena later, a miracle happened again. This is the team we all envisioned when they got Paul George.
Yes.
Please talk me off the ledge of betting the Sixers to win the East. I'm not going to talk you off that ledge.
Yeah.
Very possible.
Me neither.
Very possible.
I think this is a long series. I'll say it again. I think whoever wins this series, I think is winning the Eastern Conference.
I think most people would sign on that. Jesse Welch, hey, got a shout out. Will Hill for having Chris Massero on his pod, because Chris did bring up Golden Tempo. He's legitimately the only person I heard say the name, Jesse Welch.
Go.
Yeah.
Massero. And one home.
And Reed Wilson. Seattle getting swept by Kansas City, especially Saturday. Maddening. Yep. Absolutely maddening. Todd told me. Remember, he said on the air, you're going to be so frustrated by this Mariners team. So far, he's correct. All right, the other game tonight, San Antonio and Minnesota, game 1 tonight in San Antonio. Spurs are an $8 series favorite against the T-Wolves, who are without Anthony Edwards, and they're without Dante DiVincenzo. We'll assume that everybody else is playing.
Man, we think. Ant putting up shots yesterday. He was upgraded to questionable for this game.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of have the same reaction.
Yeah.
I think smokescreen gamesmanship, and I think we're seeing Ant most likely in Game 3. Yeah, I mean, you listen to some former players talk about kind of this type of injury. I've heard a couple of these over the past few days. It's in 3 weeks.
Market doesn't think he's playing. It's 14.5.
Mm-hmm.
We're showing 13, but I'm seeing some 14s out there as well. 14.5.
Io DeSumo also listed as questionable.
216.5, 217.5, somewhere in that pocket on the total.
I think much more likely that good chance we see him tonight. Yeah. Io back in the lineup. I'm with you there. I think most likely Ant out. But look, keep an eye on it. For sure, keep an eye on it.
Anything tonight?
I think I'm going to end up on the under. This total has risen a bit, though. 217.5 was 216.5 yesterday. I'm going to let the Ant news play out probably, and then I'm going to play a little bit of the under in this first game tonight. I don't think I'm going to be on any side in either of the first couple games, but this is already total gone under 4 of the 6 playoff games for Minnesota, under in 4 of the 5 for San Antonio. We've seen both these defenses with the ability to lock down, and just where is the offense going to come from Minnesota? It's just so much pressure on Julius Randle and some of the role players, McDaniels, to keep doing what he's doing, to just consistently get that up, and now you're talking about a completely different type of animal on the defensive side of the ball with the San Antonio Spurs compared to the Denver Nuggets. So I think I'm going to end up on the under here in Game 1. I've got nothing in the series. You and I talked about this kind of on Friday. What would you do with this situation? And it's just the injuries are so important with Minnesota and the Lakers. I don't think I'll have anything. I wrote down a couple options, though, for people. Like, I wouldn't hate this. I think you could go, you know, they have those markets if you can win Game 1 and the series.
Yeah.
Spurs game 1 in the series, guess what? It's still like minus 270. You could do that, though. I think you could parlay that with like the same market in the Thunder. Like the Thunder, you could do the same thing with.
You know what I'm not going to say out loud? What I said last series with the Celtics and say, it would really be great if we could watch Joel Embiid play this Celtics team, since I had the bet on the Celtics.
Right, yeah.
I am not going to say this about this series. I do not want any part of any of those guys.
I didn't even really think about that yet. Yeah. Gil will not be saying, I really wish I could see Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, no.
The other way I think you could play this is you could play the first 3 games. What's the record after or score after 3 games? I think 3-0 Spurs. Like that's a good bet. I think they take the first 2 at home. Maybe Ant's coming back game 3. Yeah, maybe they're a little live there, but you've still got a better number heading into that game than you would.
Tomorrow, the most closely lined of the conference semis, the Cavs and the Pistons. This is the 4-1 series in the East. The Pistons are only minus 125 series favorites. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Cavs plus 105 series dogs. Game 1, Pistons favored. Pistons favored by 3.5. Total 213.5. Feel low to you? Minus 125 on the Pistons?
No, it doesn't. I mean, look, would it have felt
one of these two teams is going to the conference final?
It's really bad. It's really bad. Would it have felt low a month ago? Yeah, probably.
Well, I shouldn't say that about the Pistons. I mean, they were the number 1 seed, so it's a bit disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna look. It's not gonna be anything big. I think I'm gonna play the Cavs in 6 and Cavs in 7.
Really?
I just think the talent is still more overwhelmingly on the Cleveland side than the Detroit side. I think both these teams showed some flaws in that first round, but even if you're the Orlando Magic without Franz Wagner yesterday, if you're going to get 30 from Tobias Harris every game, fine. This Detroit Pistons is going to look like a different team, but I'm not counting on 30 points from Tobias Harris every night.
Well, they had Wagner yesterday, right?
Franz?
Oh, I thought you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Franz.
Okay.
That's just it's a total different team without him playing regularly. And but the Pistons, man, you're getting that kind of production from Tobias Harris. You're not going to be able to lean on that every time. So yeah, I think in the end, I think it's the Cavs over the Pistons. I think it's going to be a long series, though. I looked at the over 5.5 games, but it's like minus 170, something like that. Not playing that. That's too juicy. I think that you're going to go 6 or 7, though. I think the Cavs end up winning this in the end. I haven't made any bets yet, though.
My Wagner Franz Mo confusion there.
It's okay
for game 7.
Yeah, it's okay.
Listen, they got. I mean, I could say the same thing, right? You said about can you count on that from Tobias Harris? Jared Allen going 22-19 in game 7 for the Cavs. That was kind of putting on a cape to the rescue for the Cavaliers. I don't know if I feel like the Cavs are still that, again, if you watched a full season of NBA, you probably have a higher opinion of the Cavs than those of us who weren't as closely locked in as those that did. I still feel like the Pistons are the correct favorite here in this series.
Yeah, for me, this is just more of a fade against Detroit than it is back in Cleveland.
I hear you.
Round 1, like you liked the Magic there. I thought round 1 exposed every Pistons problem that we thought a lot of us were concerned about during the regular season. Would they have enough offense to show up?
See, I think the Raptors might have been the weakest. I mean, to me, the Raptors were weaker than the Magic. So to me, again, it's I get this price. If anything, I lean Pistons here. The other series, of course, is the Lakers and the Thunder, which begins tomorrow night. The Thunder are $16 favorites. Lakers 9-1 on the comeback. I mean, this is one of these situations where you do wonder with the Thunder, can they sweep 2 consecutive series here to start the playoffs?
Sure.
That's really where the conversation starts. There were Lakers teams back in the day that swept the first 3 series on their way to the finals. The Sixers 1983 champion teams, again, lost a total of, you count them on a few fingers throughout the NBA playoffs when they won the title. Thunder can certainly do it in the first 2 series. They will have the Spurs, obviously, in a conference final if that is to keep to form. But is there any? I mean, what's the play here in this series? The Lakers to win even a game?
I think they win a game. I'm gonna go Thunder in 5, Thunder in 6.
Okay.
Something like that. I'm not betting that. That's what my prediction will be, though. I'm not betting anything in this series. Both the Western Conference series are so dependent, I think, on the injuries with Anthony Edwards. When does he come back? When does Luka Doncic come back?
Luka's going to miss the first 2 games of this series.
Yep.
At a minimum.
At a minimum. I don't think you should be expecting Jalen Williams to play in the series at all, but maybe if you get later in it. You know what the point differential was in the 4 games these teams played this season? 117 for Oklahoma City. There's a point differential in the 4 games that they played this regular season. Look, I think the playoffs, it's when stars show up and ISO basketball becomes king. Shea is God when it comes to that right now in the NBA. But yeah, if Luka's back in, can Luka, Reeves, LeBron pull 1-2 games out? Yeah, I think they can.
So the problem is, Luka's got to get back.
He's got to get back.
15.5. Thunder favored by 15.5 in game number 1. That's tomorrow night. Total 213.5. Greg Peterson is Fab 5 in baseball today. Next on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. We get tweets. Money Capper Letty. I think Missoula heard Gil's rant on Friday and said, "Oh yeah, watch this." Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
It's crazy, man.
He's like, I'll make an unnecessary gamble. Here you go. Harper, Shireman, and Garza. Enjoy. This is from...
Thank God the voters had to get their... didn't still have their ballots like Rookie of the Year. I could have been burned twice.
Let me just tell you this. That is going to be one of the most snickering announcements ever. When Missoula wins Coach of the Year, the world is snickering. Just win bets, baby. I take back what I said earlier this week. Joe Missoula may be worse than Jim Zorn. Worse than Freddie Kitchens. He now updates it. Interesting. Super Jerk. Hey, this is pretty tame from Super Jerk. I don't think the words are in the dictionary to describe to you how bad this San Francisco Giants team is. Yeah, there's a couple teams that people were high on in the offseason. I'm a Giants fan. One of them was the Giants. I'm like, I don't see it. I wish I did.
Yeah. You were quiet about them.
Yep. I was very quiet about them. The folks, and this is a great segue into Greg Peterson because we do have a couple tweets here. This was sort of random about Texas Roadhouse. It was our Dave Ross, co-host of By the Books.
We haven't talked about Texas Roadhouse in at least a month and a half. So this is
Captain America. Apparently, he went to Texas Roadhouse. He said if he found a location near him. Remember, he is in Kentucky. I think he lives in Tennessee, though. He tried it for the first time at the behest of Greg Peterson, and he was right. Dave says it was fantastic. Service was great. Food to boot. You should make Greg an honorary spokesperson, he says to the Texas Roadhouse people. And then we have people chiming in saying, yeah, just get Gil and Kelly on the bandwagon as well. Well, Greg Peterson joins us now. Courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, he should be the national spokesman for Texas Roadhouse. Not here to discuss that necessarily, but to discuss baseball. But he's here courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Greg, good morning.
I absolutely do love me some Texas Roadhouse. I love a great steak. But how do you pay for that? Winners in baseball. That's how you do so.
Is that how it works for you? Okay. All right. By the way, do you have a go-to order? Do you have a go-to order at Texas Roadhouse?
Good question.
Absolutely. You go with the sirloin every single time. I'm a little bit of a salad guy. We have to keep things lean because the rolls there, along with that cinnamon butter, it fills you up. And my go-to appetizer, the fried pickles. Love me some fried pickles.
Wow.
Look, it's been a while since I've eaten at one, but I can absolutely back up the fact that the rolls are absolutely delicious.
Okay. All right. I like how Greg's the salad counters the rolls. Apparently that's how that works.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too. Yeah, that makes sense.
I believe that
you
follows.
Eat some green, you can eat whatever you want.
I believe that's scientific.
Yes.
All right, Greg. Major League Baseball today. Let's do a Fab Five. Where do you want to start?
Absolutely. Well, how about if we take plus money here with the Atlanta Braves? They're going to be going up against the Seattle Mariners. Overnight, I saw as high as a plus 150 here. A lot of places have dropped this a little bit closer to like a plus 140, but this Atlanta Braves team is just too talented to be catching this big of a plus number. Recognize that J.R. Ritchie, even though he's got a sub-3 ERA, this is going to be his third career start. The fielding independent doesn't actually match up with the ERA, but man, I absolutely love what this Atlanta Braves team backs them up with. Top 5 team in terms of bullpen ERA. They've been number 1 in terms of offense. And Logan Gilbert has been a little bit shaky himself. 4+ ERA. Now, he's another guy that benefits from pitching at home. Because with Seattle, if you look at ballpark factors, depending upon the year, either number 1 or number 2 in terms of suppressing offense. So, also do like that 7 after the under. But that said, with the Atlanta Braves, I think that they do a solid job in terms of getting to him here. Matt Olson has had himself a nice year. Drake Baldwin building off that big rookie season. Just being able to get the Atlanta Braves plus 140, even as high as plus 150 in some spots, like that Braves money line.
Yeah, J.R. Ritchie going up against Logan Gilbert. Good pitching matchup, at least on paper. Greg taking the Dog Braves, who have started out May the same way they left off after their March, April, and April championship banners were hoisted. Were hoisted to the rafters. I believe that happened.
Yeah, obviously. Well, why wouldn't they, Gil?
I don't know. I can't think of a reason. 3-0 to start the month. Mariners 0-3 to start the month. Let's go to the O's and the Yankees. Yankees also off to a great start in May, sweeping this weekend. What do you got here? You taking a total, taking a play on a total. What are you doing?
I like the under. I'm trusting in Cam Schlittler, who, if I had to vote for Cy Young right now, and obviously it's very, very early on during the season, but my vote would be Cam. He has been that good this season. Over 10 strikeouts, a less than 1.3 walks per 9 innings, a 151 ERA, 154 fielding at pennant, 1 home run allowed in over 40 innings. This guy has been dynamic for the Yankees, and the Wizard of Boz, Shane Baz, goes for the Orioles, and he's been better than the ERA would indicate. Has he been amazing? No. Last few years, he hasn't necessarily lived up to his billing, but still, he's been able to drop the home run rate. He's giving up less than 1 home run per 9 innings, about 2.8, 2.9 walks per 9 innings. The Orioles, their bullpen is out a little bit in tatters because they do lose Ryan Housley. He's currently on the injured list, but the guys like Uncle Rico Garcia and company have been pretty solid out there in the bullpen. Yankees a little bit so-so with regards to their bullpen, but still, you're not going to need too much of it with Schluttler, in my opinion. Now, it is starting to warm up out there in Yankee Stadium, but we're still not at peak form where we're going to be in July when everything is going to be flying out. And with Cam Schluttler, we're willing to trust in him here to be able to keep this to the under. So 8.5, do like the under.
Yeah, 8.5 on the under. By the way, I should say that this is for the sweep. This is the weird Friday to Monday wraparound series. So the Yankees took the first 3 from the Orioles. And again, tonight, the scene at Yankee Stadium ought to be a pretty dramatic one. John Sterling, in case you missed it, passing away, their longtime announcer. So should be quite the environment at Yankee Stadium tonight for that one. The Reds are at the Cubs. The Reds' magic in the month of March/April has gone by the wayside. The Reds are now sort of regressing to form. They're at Chicago tonight. They're big dogs. How are you playing this one?
Yeah, the Cincinnati Reds are 20-14 with a negative run differential. So I would say that you might be looking at a little bit of regression here, but 11.5 is just a little bit too high. For the Reds, they have been in the bottom half of the big leagues in terms of run creation. Now, you do want to know, wind is going to be blowing out at Wrigley Field, and it's going to be blowing out quite heavily. That's why you've got yourself an 11.5 total. That said, Edward Cabrera, doesn't matter if the wind's been blowing out or in, he's been solid. He's been pitching into more contact than he has throughout his career, but still, he's been able to induce some softer contact, giving up less than 1 home run per 9 innings, 3.06 ERA, and it's going to be young Chase Petty getting the start for the Reds. Now, if you look at his 3-game sample size last year for the Cincinnati Reds, not good. 1950 ERA. I was not alive in 1950, but the fact that that's a year in which conceivably someone listening to this could have been alive, if that's your ERA, that's not good. So that's not where you want to be, to say the least. But that said, for Petty, looked a little bit better at the minor leagues this year. Strikeout stuff has been a little bit up, and he's backed up by a bullpen that entered in the series in the top 10 in terms of ERA. We have seen that regress, and I just still don't trust an Emilio Pagan in that bullpen, but the guys not named Emilio Pagan, like Tony Santillan and company, have been relatively solid this season. So I do think that with the Reds, having really nobody other than Ellie De La Cruz and Sal Stewart producing for this offense is going to be able to keep you under 11.5, even with the wind blowing out just a little bit too high. Do like that under.
Dodgers had a 4-game losing streak before that got snapped yesterday. And yet, Kelly, you look up at the Major League Baseball standings, and they're still a half game ahead of the Padres. It's amazing how that works.
Yeah, right back in it.
It still works that way. They're at the Astros. The Dodgers are today. They're big favorites, almost $2 favorites at Dakin Park. What do you got?
Yeah, and this is just too juicy of a money line for me to be able to back the Dodgers, but I can back Yoshinobu Yamamoto in a different way with the under. If you look at Yamamoto's career numbers, home to road, he's actually been a much better road pitcher than a home pitcher. For his career, 3.30 ERA at home with about 1.1 home runs allowed per 9 innings. When he's been away from home, sub 2.20 ERA, giving up about 0.49 home runs per 9 innings. And for the Astros, you're going to note that you're going to be getting an opener in this game before Ryan Wise. At last check, I believe that they were going to be throwing out their Steven Oker. You want to be checking in on that. But so it's going to be Ryan Wise who's going to be the bulk pitcher here for the Astros. He was a really good pitcher out there in KBO for the Hanwha Eagles last season out there in South Korea. He's come back. He's been a little bit out of form this far this season because he's been in a new role. They had him as a long reliever coming in like the 5th, 6th inning. That's just not necessarily him. I think being able to get into a little bit more of a natural role is going to be able to help him out a little bit. It's been a Dodgers team that actually struggled a little bit on offense in their series against Cardinals. Really didn't break 4 runs in any of those games. Feels like they've been a little bit hot and cold. So was seeing 9s overnight, seeing a few 8.5s. Whether you've got an 8.5 or a 9, do like the under, but I would say try to get a 9 if at all possible.
All right, Phillies have won 5 of 6. Here we go. Let's see if the Phillies can get some momentum. But you are fading them today with the Marlins.
Absolutely. I am fading Aaron Nola. He has been overpriced for years, and You got Jansen Junk on the flip side for the Miami Marlins, but he's not the one that's been pitching like junk. That'd be Aaron Nola. 6.01 ERA with 1.7 home runs per 9 innings allowed in 2025. Many thought that was an outlier. Guess what this year? 6.03 ERA, 1.7 home runs per 9 innings. So we are right back there. Junk does a nice job not hurting himself. Gives up about 0.8 home runs, 2.5 walks per 9 innings. Marlins do a solid job in terms of moving the line. I would say I'd be willing to lay up to about a -120 here with that Marlins money line.
Greg